All right, Shalom. I want to start by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rukwah HaKodash. Double honor to the apostles, the elders, of great millstone. Shalom to the brothers that labor in sincerity and truth for the sake of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And I have this article from End Time Headlines. It says 86% of Americans feel stressed about the cost of groceries. It says why are social media platforms filled with videos of Americans complaining about grocery prices right now? Needless to say, those videos must be striking a chord because some of them are receiving millions of views. Government bureaucrats are telling us that the cost of food is only going up a few percentage points per year. But we can all see that as a load of nonsense. A trip to the grocery store has become an enormous expense. And this is especially true if you have kids to feed. And yeah, man, that's the Lord, drying up Babylon, man. You not as spoiled as you once was here, man. You already throw food away and stuff, man. You got people throwing food away when it's people out here homeless, man. Like Americans don't understand how spoiled they are, but yet, all that's coming to a halt because food is skyrocketing. Food ain't as cheap as it was 5-10 years ago, man. Food is high nowadays, man. So with that being said, you Black, Latino, and Native Americans, you should know, and you already know that you ain't got it like that to be spending money on food. Most of us is living on food stamps and other government assistance. Just trying to get by. So how much more before you feel me? The food just completely be gone one day, man. And those are things you gotta consider, man. But I want to start with Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 4, and in verse 16 it says, "Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem, and they shall eat by weight and with care, and they shall drink water by measure and with astonishment." And yeah, man, that's what the Lord doing right now. He breaking the bread. He said he breaking the bread of he breaking the staff of bread, Salakia. And in that time you're gonna be weighing. You're not gonna be trying to eat all your food at one time. You're gonna be saving your food, or at least trying to, and you're gonna be measuring your water because you're not gonna know where your next meal gonna come from, man. And those gonna be one of the biggest concerns for Americans, man. What they gonna eat? Where our next meal gonna be coming from? But if you come back to the Lord, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, he gonna protect you and you repent and be sincere. With you Black, Latinos, and Native Americans, y'all the only ones that can, repent. But y'all are the biblical Israelites, is what I'm trying to say, though. And, this is what's coming. You gonna be, if you don't repent, you gonna be weighing your bread. You gonna be eating your food slowly, trying to savor it, and you gonna be not trying to drink all your water, and you can't really imagine it because you so spoiled right now. You can't imagine a time where you ain't gonna have food and water, man. But that's coming soon to Babylon the Great, man. So yeah. Yeah, let me get this. Isaiah 63 and 65 and 13. And 13. It says, therefore this said the Lord Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye should be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye should be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed, man. And yeah, that's what I meant, by if you didn't, come back to the Lord, if you don't come back to the Lord, man, you gonna be hungry, man. You not gonna have nothing to eat. You gonna be over there weighing your little glass of water or whatever, trying not to drink it all, man. That's a bad feeling, man, especially if you got kids out here, man. They looking at you like, Dad, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, That ain't no good feeling, man. But, it says, go on, it says, behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow and of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit, man. Yeah, man, that's gonna have you bad. That like I said, not a good feeling for for you not to be able to feed your family, man. So repent before it's too late, man. Let me get Second Esdras. Because one thing about not having food, it calls for desperate measures, man. And you may find yourself trying to break in someone's house just so you can eat, man. And those are the things that the Lord said was gonna happen too, man. So, hold on, Salaki. Okay, this Second Esdras 15 in verse 15. It say, for the sword and their destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their king nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in the power. And that's what we gonna be seeing, man. The Lord, putting the spirit on these people to, go do anything they gotta do for this food, man. And that don't, the line don't draw it, just trying to steal your food. No, they'll be willing to kill you for the food, man. They ain't just trying to take it and get away. No, they serious about this. Like, that's the spirit the Lord could put on you, man. It says, you might come home one day and you find yourself at gunpoint because somebody in your house trying to get the food that you got already, man. Just think about that, man. And this drop down to verse 19. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but they shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, man. Yeah, so you see, in that day, it's gonna be every man for themselves, man. People gonna be invading one another, for the lack of bread, man. Stealing whatever they can get, and that's your everyday neighbors, man. The people that you see every day, they not gonna be like that, because the Lord said, the love of many shall wax cold, man. So that's what we gonna see real soon, man. It's gonna be something that click in these Americans, man, when that day come. But this is Matthew 24 and verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, man. So you never know who it's gonna be, man. You know, it could be your mama, your dad, your brother, your coworker, you know, your next door neighbor, you know, it could be your woman. And you gotta consider these type of things, man, because the Lord said it was gonna happen, man. And you know, the Lord, you know, it's gonna the hopeful elect that count for them too, man. So, cause we gonna be around it too. So love gonna wax cold with people that's around us, man. People that probably had love for us at one point in time. They probably gonna be the same one trying to kill us, man. So you know, the famine, you know, it's serious, man. You know, and I just wanted to, you know, shed some light on that. The biggest concerns of the people in the coming time is gonna be what will you eat? You know, food will be your biggest concern, man. So with all that being said, I just want to get all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Raquah HaKodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth. Shalom.